Hi everyone. You would think, with it being the Christmas period and goodwill to all men and all that, you would think that the media in this country have took a break over the last week of slamming anything Russia, slamming Putin and publishing their Russophobic, anti-Russia, McCarthyist smears and propaganda in the media. You would think that over Christmas they would take a break. Not so. Not so. Don't be stupid, Gordon. Why are you saying stupid things like that? Of course they haven't. Here's the BBC, our state media in the UK. They say, RT, Russia station's chocolate Salisbury gift slammed. They've sent chocolate Salisburys as gifts. Chocolate Salisbury cathedrals. I can't be the only one who think that that is just brilliant. If somebody had done that, if somebody had sent me one, I would think that that was brilliant. I work in the media. That's who they've been sending him to, other people in the media, as you'll find out. Politicians in Salisbury have blasted. Really? They've blasted it, have they? The BBC? They're not outraged? That's usually the verb they use. Have blasted a Russian state-run broadcaster which sent chocolate models of the city's cathedral as a festive gift. That's brilliant. RT said the edible item reflected one of the, quote, biggest news stories of the year and was sent to multiple recipients in the media and beyond. Russian ex-spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia were poisoned in Salisbury in March. So I had to fit that in there, just in case anybody had forgotten. Salisbury MP John Glenn said, this is bizarre behaviour, but to be expected. Really, John? It's bizarre, is it? It's not hilarious. An image of the intricate chocolate model wrapped in RT branded ribbons was shared by the Russian TV channel Dozhd, also known as TV Rain, and there you can see it's absolutely fantastic. In a tweet, Dozhd thanked RT for the gift, but said, come to tea, we're afraid to eat it alone. Maybe they think it's laced with Novichok. Don't worry, guys, it's apparently not that poisonous. Somebody did die. We must remember that there. Somebody did die. Salisbury councillor Joe Broom joined Mr. Glenn in denouncing the cathedral replica, saying it was in very poor taste. She added, it is very regrettable that somebody would see fit to do something like this and is quite disrespectful to those that were caught up in the incident. In the name of fairness and balance, the BBC, why haven't you added a couple of chapters? You've given 3 people there who think it's a terrible thing. I mean, these are 3 people that are probably in the 1% of the country that thinks this is a massive story and needs to be. This was promoted as their number 1 story on their website when it ran a few days ago. But in the name of fairness and balance, even though you found 3 people there out of the dozen or so in the country that believe this and think that that's a bad gift, what about the other 99% of the country that will think that that is absolutely hilarious and a perfect gift for a Russian state media? It's funny. But they haven't put anybody like that in. But then carried on with the next page to push their propaganda again. If you read their articles on the Skripals, they're all basically the same. They had a little bit of new information at the top and then they go over. They're basically the same, almost word for word. And you can see there they've highlighted how the 2 suspects in the poisonings were outed, and then how the UK government said it was Russia's GRU spy agency that carried out the attack, and then they got to mention Bellingcat, who published the photos, you may remember, of those 2 suspects' passports. But Bellingcat is somebody who Elliot Higgins reminded me once. We just use open source data available over the internet, freely available. How did you get the passports? Were they published on Yelp? Were they? Or did you get them from your friends at GCHQ? I think you know the answer to that question. And then they go on to say the Skripal survived being poisoned, but Dawn Sturgis, as I said, sadly died after her boyfriend brought her that bottle of perfume that had Novichok in it from a charity bin. And at the bottom there, they say, earlier this month, the UK's media watchdog Ofcom ruled RT had broken TV impartiality rules. I'll come to that in a little bit. Read the end of this article because it's just hilarious. I wanted to read it in full to show you just How hilarious it is. An RT spokesperson said the chocolate model had been sent as a gift in the spirit of the holiday season to multiple friends, peers and partners in the media sphere. As I said at the top, they've just sent it. If they'd sent it to Dawn Sturgis's boyfriend, that's in bad taste. If they'd sent it to Yulia Skripal, that's in bad taste. But they've sent it to other media outlets who they, and I, and anybody with a critical thinking brain in their head knows, are outlets that are pushing non-stop propaganda on Russia. This is hilarious. So the BBC have now, along with losing their journalistic integrity quite some time ago, they've now lost their sense of humour. And back to that where I said about Ofcom, RT had broken TV impartiality rules. You can see there at the bottom. Brian McDonald also highlighted this because the Guardian's media editor tweeted out a tweet promoting a story that he'd written where the Times published the names and photos of Sputnik journalists in Edinburgh. Now, when this happened, the BBC is in Russia. So an RT news agency did the same thing, but they, instead of saying published, you can see there, said Russia has leaked. So he published the names and photos of Sputnik journalists, the Times published, but now the Russians leaked. So the Times didn't leak, but the Russians leaked them. The Times just published things. The Russians, they leak them. Good journalist he is, Brian McDonald, used to follow him. And he also said there, he mentioned, listen, 289 million was sent by 2015, I think it was. 289 million has been invested by the UK Defence Department in the BBC in Russia. So there's going to be tit for tat here. If they start going after Russia over here, Russia are going to start going after BBC over there. They shouldn't be doing it. These are media outlets. Just let them. A lot of what Russia Today and Sputnik and me, and independent media out there, a lot of what we do is in retaliation to the propaganda pushed by the corporate and state media. What we're doing is we're balancing things out. We're giving the side of the story that they don't tell, and often those are the really important parts of the story. In fact, the vast majority of the times they leave out what's really important or bury it in paragraph 17 subsection B with a title that is totally different. So this is going to be tit for tat. But what I really want to come down to is, what I really want to highlight here is just the ridiculousness of it all. And it is ridiculous, this is. Because the BBC have just joined in with a list of other outlets. I'm sure the BBC were already among them. So this is from Moon of Alabama. There's an updated list with 65 articles that they have found in the UK and US media. I think this is in the UK media, actually. No, it'd be the US as well, because Daily Kos is in there. But there's 65 articles been written so far, just with weaponizing things, how Putin has weaponized things. You can see there, BBC right at the top, how Putin's Russia turned humour into a weapon. They've weaponized humour. And a list of 74 other things. And this was updated 2 weeks ago. So it hasn't been updated since. There's more since. I've found at least 3. So now, on top of weaponizing all of these things, the Russians, according to the BBC, have now weaponized chocolate. The absolute bastards! If you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe and click the bell below. Independent media outlets like mine are being censored across all social media platforms, so please like, comment and share. That really helps out with the algorithm that is biased against us now. We are supported by our audience. Most of us are in independent media, so if you can support me and you do enjoy my work, please subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month, and every dollar helps. If just one in 5 of my subscribers donated $1, I'd be able to do this and not worry about funding. Thanks very much for your support. Until next time, peace and take care.